Hi, welcome to Stick Figure Art History, where we learn about great art by making bad sketches. All you need is a pencil and some paper, and if you want to make flashcards, all of these sketches will fit on a 3x5 index card, so you can doodle on the blank side and take some notes on the lined side. Today we are going to look at some African rock art. Now this is an image that it would really be nice if we could see it in person, because we could learn a lot more about it than through this image. So just bear in mind that seeing artwork via an image on a screen on the internet is very different from interacting with it in real life. And if you get a chance to go to a museum and see works like this, I highly encourage it. It'll just deepen your understanding of what's going on here. So in this piece, we're looking at some kind of creature on these two slabs of rock. And if you are ready with your pencil, we're going to go ahead and sketch this bad boy. So it's not apparent what he is, but we'll do our best to just get something down. So I'm going to kind of do a little oval shape for his head. And then you can make another oval kind of thing for his body. Right here it looks like maybe he has a belly or ribs sticking out. All right. And then you could just put sticks. I'm going to do little triangles for his legs. We've got some legs. These are cute. We've got little feet. Sketch his little feet. And then some kind of a tail. So once you've got the creature sketched out, go ahead and sketch the rock that he's on. Kind of outline the shape of this rock so that if you were to see this later, you might recognize it. All right, we've got a nice rock shape. Great. Okay, now I'm going to erase my sketch for just a minute. And I want you to think about what might have been used to create this piece. From what we can tell in this image, it looks like it's probably charcoal, some kind of burnt plant matter that may have been turned into a paint, or it might have just been scratched right onto the rock. So we're going to get rid of this image and just work from here. If you have a pencil and you want to shade them in, you can do your best to just kind of scribble them in. Let us know that the animal is darker than the rock that he has been scribbled on. And let's go ahead and write down what we know. We know for sure that this is probably charcoal. Charcoal. And we know that it was made on rock. So that's what we call the media for the piece, or what it's made out of. So your media will be charcoal on rock. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you the title for this piece, and then we're going to do a little bit of investigating. This piece is called the Apollo 11 Rocks. Rocks plural because there are two of them. You could even divide him up right there. 2 rocks. Now, why Apollo 11? Oh, we need to underline this because it is a title of a work of art, and we underline titles of works of art. So why Apollo 11? Well, we need to draw a very, very bad sketch of Africa. Do your best. This is my best Africa. There's a giant lake. And what you fail at in sketching, you can make up for in labeling. So we're going to label this Africa. Doink. Okay. And this was found in Namibia, which is right here. We're going to go ahead and say that that is Namibia. And it was found in some caves, and we label those caves the Apollo caves. And this was found in the one numbered 11. So it was found in, we could say, found in the Apollo 11 caves. Great. So one big idea that's associated with this piece is the idea that humanity, as far as we can tell, has its origins in Africa. So this is an interesting piece for further study on the origins of humanity. Okay, now we might also be interested in how old this is. And we've got a lot of clues telling us this is not a present day work of art. This is probably old. We've got charcoal on rock, some very primitive media. So let's get a little timeline going somewhere. Maybe down at the bottom. Here's our timeline. Let's put us right here. This is now. And then right here, we're going to put the year 0. And we're going to go way back, because this work was created somewhere between 25,500 and 25,300 BCE, before the Common Era. So somewhere between there is when this was made. How do we know this? Well, that's another point of further research. You might want to check out carbon 14 dating. You can see what you think about that. So we know that it's very old. We even call this prehistoric. So this is prehistoric art. All that prehistoric means is that it was made before history was being written down. So this is really a very good record of what humans have going on way before we were even writing down anything about our lives. Now, some other questions you might want to ask. What is this thing? I don't know. My best guess is that maybe it's some kind of a bovid, like a cow, or some kind of cattle. It also kind of looks a little bit like a dog. But whatever it is, it was probably used in the day-to-day survival of the people who made it. So maybe it's an animal that they hunted. Maybe it's an animal that they hunted with, like a dog. We're really not sure. But there's some good clues to tell us that the people who made it probably used it in a ritual. And we know this because one of the primitive spiritual practices was something called shamanism. And in shamanism, people believed that they could alter their conscious state and become a part of nature and connect to the things around them. So they may have been channeling the spirit of this creature, either trying to harness some of its characteristics, its bravery, or its nature, or maybe they were trying to draw the animal to them as a source of food. We don't know. That's a really great thing to check out also. So it's probably associated with some kind of ritual. This interesting little animal is. So if you're going to put all of this on an index card that's really nice and neat, this is a great thing for the blank side. But let's say you just want everything really super nice and neat. You'll want to give it a title, which we said was the Apollo 11 stones. And if you're studying for the AP Art History exam, which I am in no way endorsed by Collegeboard, but this is on the exam, and it's in the content area, the first content area, Global Prehistory, and it is the very first image in your set of 250 that you need to be able to identify. So we went over the title of the work, which we underline. And we learned where it's from. The location is Namibia, which is in Africa. We learned about how old it is, that it is circa 25,500 to 25,300 BCE, before the Common Era. And we learned its medium. Its media was charcoal on stone. And if you wanted to make some other notes about further research you could do to connect with this piece, you might look into other African rock art. You might look at Africa as an origin of humanity. This idea that we started in Africa. Africa. And then spread out to the rest of the world from there. You might think a little bit more about shamanism and how it connects to art. And you might also study our dating system, carbon-14 dating, and do a little more exploration of how we date works of art. So there you go. That's the Apollo 11 stones. Let's bring up our original image one more time. Get a good look. There it is. Great. All right, well, I hope this was interesting and fun, and I hope that you will come back and make some more bad sketches of great art. See you next time.